What is a violin? It is believed to have been invented in Italy by a man named Andrea Amati, half a millennium ago. The violin is defined as a wooden musical instrument with 4 strings that is held against the neck and played by moving a bow across the strings. These 4 strings are labeled with letters. The deepest, G, sounds like this, followed by D, A, and E, the highest. Strings were originally made of dried strands of sheep intestine, commonly known as catgut, but modern instruments typically have strings composed of steel or nylon. To play the violin, one's hand must be close to the base of the scroll and the top of the fingerboard. The scroll is this spiral-esque piece of wood at the end of the instrument, and the fingerboard is the black board on the neck extending from the body of the violin. Many amateur musicians, such as myself, have pieces of tape on their fingerboards to guide their fingers to the correct notes. To tune the instrument, you will find pegs located just under the scroll and small knobs called fine tuners below the bridge, an arched piece of wood that keeps the strings taut and held firmly in place. The tighter the strings, the higher the pitch. The notes that the violin is capable of producing are all contained in the treble clef, which indicates what notes to play when reading music and that you will emit medium to high-pitched sounds. As you will see in the piece I'll be playing an excerpt from, Rosin-Eating Zombies from Outer Space, there's a series of lines and spaces called the music staff, where the notes are placed, and here is the aforementioned treble clef. Next to it is the time signature, which tells the player how many beats are in each measure of music. Measures are sections of the music staff separated by lines. Rosin, in the title of that piece, Rosin-Eating Zombies from Outer Space, is essentially a block of tree sap, and fine, sticky white powder comes off of it when rubbed across the bow hairs. Rosin is used to keep the bow moving smoothly across the strings and to minimize screeching, and does this by creating friction between the bow and the strings. The bow has a few basic parts. The wooden part, made of hardwood, is simply named the stick. The base of the bow, where the violinist's right hand is placed, is called the frog. And the part of the bow that usually comes into contact with the string, the bow hair, is made of bleached and sanitized horsehair, typically with 160 to 180 individual hairs per bow. Sometimes pieces can even be played with the stick. It sounds like this, and is called colegno. To produce a higher quality sound, putting the bow in the middle of the space between the bridge and the fingerboard is ideal. The way the bow is moved heavily influences the intonation and volume of the noise created by the musician. For example, if I press harder with my bow, shift it closer to the bridge, play near the frog, and move it quickly, it'll be much louder, whereas the sound will become softer the closer I get to the tip. When I apply minimal pressure, play near the fingerboard, and move the bow slowly. If you'd like to give it a try, every violin is unique, produces a slightly different sound, and they come in a range of sizes. Some famous musicians play priceless ancient violins created by master craftsmen hundreds of years ago due to the incredible sound quality. In the words of Hans Christian Andersen, where words fail, music speaks.